Hey guys, it's Weds. For all the new barbarians out there who want to know how early you can get to World Tier 4, I'm going to show you how to get this done as early as possible. And for me, it's level 52. Now, if you want to know how to get to World Tier 3 as early as possible, I will leave a link in the description for my recent video. In any case, I will also post all the gears and aspects that I use for this on d4builds.gg so you can see everything in more details. As a disclaimer, this is obviously not a complete build, but it's something to get you to World Tier 4 as early as possible. That way you can move on to bigger and better things. That said, if you're looking for a complete build for the Barbarian class, you can check out the ones on maxwell.gg, which is where I also get my inspiration to put this together. So let's start with the gear and aspect that I used. Now for the helmet, I am using the aspect of might. This is a very popular one, so make sure you get this. It is in the Codex, so it's easy to get to. You can see what it says, so I'm not going to read what the aspect said. And for the chest piece, we are using the aspect of numbing wrath. This is also in the Codex. For the gloves, we are using the rapid aspect. And for the pants, we're using the disobedience aspect. And in our boots, I put my favorite aspects in this game because I always put this in my build. It is the aspect of audacity. This is not in the Codex. You can get those from RNG. Also, if you have some obols, just go to the obols vendor and then you can gamble for boots and you might be able to get one of those. If not, that's not the end of the world. I'm the one that like to use those and they are very good, but you can find a different aspect to put on your boots. Now for the weapon, I am using the Edge Master's aspect and that gives us some really decent damage. Again, this is in the Codex. And then for the other weapon, I am not using any aspects because I didn't have any materials to actually get those. But if you can put aspects on those, just go ahead and do so. It makes things a lot easier. I just didn't have enough materials to actually get this done. But none of those other weapons have aspects on them. But ideally, you want to put aspects on those to make things a lot easier for you. And for our amulet, we are using the aspect of ancestral force. This is also in the Codex. It's a very good one. You want to put this in your build. This is what makes the build a lot better. Out of all the aspects in the setup, I would say this one is a must. So I would say make sure you get this. It is in the Codex. So just get this as soon as you can. For our first ring, we are using the aspect of unrelenting fury. And for our second ring, we are using the aspect of echoing fury. Now, those are some of the aspects that can give you some resource regeneration. That way you can just pump up your hammer as often as possible. Now, before we move on to the skill tree, let's look at the stats real quick, mainly the resistances. You want to make sure that you get your fire resistance and your shadow resistance as high as possible. And poison, there's some poison in there too, but that's not too bad. If you are having a hard time getting your resistance as high as possible, just use the elixir of magic resist. As you can see, it increases your resistance to all elements by plus 25%. This is very good. If you have this, make sure you use this. Now for our expertise, I am using the two-handed axe expertise just for that vulnerable damage. And as you can see, that's what we use in the technique slot. But for our weapon of choice, we are using a two-handed mace. So you want to make sure that you get this if you can. Now onto our skill tree, we take first lunging strike to generate our fury, and then we take combat lunging strike. And then for our core skill, we are taking the MVP of this setup. It is the hammer of the ancients, and then we take the furious hammer. Down to our defensive skills, we take rallying cry, and then we also take tactical rallying cry. And then we take imposing presence, we max this out, and we also max out martial vigor. Continue on, we also take challenging shout as well as enhanced challenging shout. Down to our brawling skill, we take swiftness, max this out, And we also take Warcry and enhance Warcry. We put 3 in Booming Voice, 3 in Raid Leader, 3 in Cultural Yell. We also take 3 points in Aggressive Resistance, 3 in Prolific Fury, and down to our Weapon Mastery, we take 3 in a Pit Fighter, and then we go down and put 1 in Thick Skin to get to Counteroffensive, where we max this out for 3 points. And then for our ultimate, we take the Wrath of the Berserker and all the way to Supreme. And on the right side, we max out Wallop, and we also max out Brute Force. And finally, for our key passives, we take Unbridled Rage. Now, those are the skills, so we're gonna go to the Paragon board. As early as it is, this is what we have so far. I follow the example on Maxwell.gg, and with the 26 points that I have to start off, so I just use it this way. I don't even have all the glyphs necessary yet, but it is what it is. Onto our Vampiric power, we take Hemomancy, Resilience, Metamorphosis, Undying, and then finally we take Sanguine Brace. And finally, guys, if you want to check out the Codex, you can see, like if I go here, you can see all the aspects that I use. They are in the Codex except for that one that I told you. And just all of them are in here. All you got to do is just come here and see the one that you want and then just pin it. Just go to the map and then just complete that dungeon and you should get that aspect and then use it in your build. Anyway, guys, that's all we have. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys in the next one.